We're back on Professionally Speaking TV. I'm Randall Craig, your host, with Cheryl Gregory. We spent, before the break, talking an awful lot about the travel business, which you have to learn to sell in order to survive.
Absolutely, yes.
But the question of selling is a little bit more general, and maybe what I'd like to do now is talk a little bit about the question of selling. Before you talked about the importance of developing relationships.
Right.
And I know you do a lot of sales training. Where do you see some of the biggest obstacles to effectively making the sale actually coming from?
Wow, the obstacles are a huge one is jumping to product or service before you even really talk to the client. And I've seen this. I've listened to calls, and I've been in numerous face-to-face situations listening to agents, and someone will say, I'm looking at going somewhere on an all-inclusive vacation. I don't know where I want to go. And the agent will jump in, and without asking anything else, they'll start saying, oh, it's my what I call the do you want story. Do you want Jamaica? Do you want Dominican? Do you want Cuba? Do you want, do you want, until someone goes, yes. And then they can go from there, as opposed to, first of all, getting somebody's name, introducing yourself, starting to create this relationship, get something going that's, because you could do this on the internet. You don't have to come to a travel agent to get all the choices. So introduce yourself, get to know them a little bit, read their personality profile, which we can talk about very shortly, but then start to say, what do you like to do when you go away? What is, have you ever had a great holiday experience? And if you did, tell me about it. What was so great about that holiday? What did you enjoy? What did you do that made it such a great holiday? And you can start to listen and pull things from that, because someone can say, oh, we golfed and we did jeeps and we did parasailing, we did this and we did that. So you can start to see, oh, this person likes an active holiday. And then you can start to say, so if I understand correctly, are you looking for something that's got some action to it? Yes, I am. Then you can start talking to them about something that really relates to them and resonates. Or someone could say, we sat, we relaxed, we did the spa thing, we just kind of cruised, we did the lazy river. That's someone who likes to maybe relax a bit more. And you're going to start talking to them about something that might feed into that, or at least asking them, is that what you're looking for? So it makes a bit more sense than just tossing all these things out there and hoping something sticks.
Ask before telling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yet so often, all you see is the brochure racks, right? Or the website pages that speak to, do you want Cuba, do you want Puerto Rico, do you want whatever it happens to be?
Right.
Why don't these sites or travel agents start by asking those questions first, at least the most basic?
Well, that's why I'm there. That's why I bring my programs out there, because it's not working. It's not working, and the managers of these companies are very concerned that they're getting closing ratios of less than 30%.
So a closing ratio is somebody comes in, only 30% of the people buy.
Yes.
How long is a typical sales cycle in the travel business?
It can vary. You could have someone who has researched something so deeply that when they walk in the agency, they know exactly what they want, and then the agent basically, as long as they ask a few questions, they can close them quickly. It could be someone who's thinking, well, I'm thinking of doing this in a couple of months, I'm not quite sure what I want, and they're just starting at the ground level. It can go anywhere between that range. So sales cycle, it could be anything. And that's why you have to ask questions. That's what helps you determine where you are in that your selling cycle and their buying cycle, because when they match, you got gold. If you're trying to push them to close and they're not ready,
they're not
it's not a good place to be.
No. What are the typical errors beyond that the salespeople typically make?
A lot of assumptions. One of the things people assume is when somebody is asking for an all-inclusive, they want the cheapest room, the cheapest everything, the lowest price, stripped right down. They just assume it's the lowest price, and it isn't necessarily, because people like value, and they'll justify a higher price for better value. For example, the lead-in rate is always going to be a garden view room or a mountain view room at a resort.
What do you mean lead-in rate?
Sorry, sorry about that. I'm using the jargon. Sorry, Randall. The lowest rate that you'll see in a brochure or on a website is usually a garden view room, or the cheapest room, sorry to say that, it's like a standard room.
Yep.
And then anything above that, from an ocean view to an ocean front, or the suites are all going to be, they're all obviously going to be a little bit more expensive, but the room could be larger. The view, obviously, is going to be nicer. So you don't know if that person is going to want an oceanfront or an ocean view room. You have to, through your questioning, you're going to find out. One of the things I suggest is close your eyes for a minute and just pretend you're going to open the drapes to your room, the curtains to your room, and look outside. What do you see? And if they say, I see the ocean, then don't talk. Standard. Don't start quoting at that level. So what I understand from you is you're interested in seeing the ocean, you find that relaxing. Start talking, drawing it out a little bit. And I think this is what agents need, is to learn how to listen and draw out and discover what's important to that client. And it's not happening in about, I'm going to say 95% of the population of travel agents. 5% have got it, and they have a good living. But they do this. And that's what I've observed in my, I hate to say 30 years, but that's what I observed in 30 years, the difference between the top 5 and the remaining 95%.
Interesting.